Hey guys, Andrew coming at you. In this one, my friend Joshua is going to talk about why he chooses Swedish schools as a parent here in Sweden, an American parent here in Sweden. I'm going to do it from a teacher's perspective. I'm going to pin all his social media below if you're interested in checking him out. He has a TikTok, he has an Instagram, he does a lot of content on Sweden from time to time. So please check him out. If you like this one or you like this, please give us the feedback below and maybe we'll do another video together. And if you have something that you'd be interested in us discussing, let us know.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Carney. And I'd like to thank Andrew so much for letting me be on his channel today. I would love to talk to you guys a little bit about why myself, as an American living in Sweden with a family, why I've chosen to stay in Sweden and have my children go to Swedish schools. You might ask, why would you choose that? I would say that it's built off of three basic pillars. The first pillar being the educational package that your children receive. The second point would then be the atmosphere as well as the safety. And number three would be the learning environment. Now, my children are still very young, so I haven't gone into the full educational system yet. But these are the reasons why we built our decision on. So for the first point, really, the Swedish system is built so heavily on creativity and the learning of creativity. Unlike so many American schools where it's built on academic performance and standardized testing. When you think about it, as a small child, which mine are, they spend so much more time playing games, playing with toys, learning how to interact with each other, learning how to explore friendships and relationships and what that means to society, rather than learning a table of information that they're supposed to regurgitate and just process back at people. I believe that builds a more intellectual, more socially stable, and a happier person in the long run. The second point, when we talk about safety or safety and security, is I don't think I need to express too much about the number of incidences that have happened in the US with schools. This has now changed the entire atmosphere at schools, where we're almost training the children to be fearful. Worry about the next incident, the next attack, the next, where that doesn't give the child then the feeling of being safe. Doesn't give the child the feeling of, this is an environment where I'm safe here. I can learn, I can explore, and I can make mistakes. If you don't feel safe and you don't feel that this is a secure environment, you won't grow as a person. And really, that's what the educational system is for, is allowing people to grow and blossom into a safe, secure member of society. And the third element is, when you talk about the total package, really you're looking at from when you start at dagis or daycare all the way through gymnasium or high school, even into university. You aren't being penalized for not making a grade. There's consequences, obviously, but you're not socially penalized. As well as especially when you're younger and you're not receiving grades per se or scores day in and day out, I feel that gives a child more environment to learn and explore and actually grow. Again, going back to growth and becoming an active member of society. As well as, you don't have in gymnasium, or at least I haven't seen it. Now, I could be completely wrong. I haven't seen it, where children are making decisions based on economic outcome rather than what are they passionate about. This has to do with the wealth gap in America, where if you don't have a certain level of education, you can only expect a very slim salary and live a very low quality of life. Where if you choose to go to university, you choose to study only certain majors, then you can have an expectation of being in the 1% of society. So you already start getting stretched when you're about 13, 14 years old about making these decisions, where there isn't such a financial gap between being a PhD at a university and being a person who works at a grocery store, which really gives people a sense of being part of society. That goes back into the educational system of why people want to be educated rather than have to be educated, or choosing something just because they have to choose something to go to university. You don't have to do it. You don't have to go to university. And in general, that's how I think going to university should be looked at. So again, just to bring that all back around, it's really a sense of creating individuals who want to live in society, the ability to be creative and learn and have a good environment to learn within, and a structure for whether or not you should go on to higher education or not, and having that choice and not having your entire life ruined by that choice, and as well as the financial impacts of going to university and maybe not having the best paying job afterwards because you've paid $100,000, $200,000. So you could be spending, 2 million kroner on your education, which again, kind of comes back around.
So one of the things I really like about being a teacher in Sweden, although maybe it takes some time to get used to, is that you don't have as much authority as a teacher, which can be bad from time to time. But what I mean by that is because there's not this I'm up here and you're down here. If you use that correctly as a teacher, you can really get a lot of feedback from your kids and honest feedback. So by getting the kids engaged and having those conversations with them and getting that feedback, a lot of kids get a chance to do a survey. But mostly if you can just ask for the honest feedback from the kids, at least for me, it really improves my teaching because then you can create an environment where if a kid doesn't know something or you're teaching something they don't know, they're not afraid to raise their hand and tell you or talk to you one-on-one. And if I try a lesson idea and it works, it's fantastic. But if it doesn't work, it's nice to get that feedback. It takes a little bit of time to get used to because in American school, you'd have a lot more authority. And although it can be good to have authority at times, I've never really been much of a dictator as a teacher. So for me, I never needed to rule with an iron fist to get good behavior or things to work out. So I think it's nice having that type of environment because totally it's if I do a lesson and it doesn't go well, it's on me. That's the way I always am. With how the culture works here, with everything, the feedback you can ask for and get, that works out really well. Another thing I really like about Swedish schools from a teacher's perspective is you kind of have a lot of freedom to how you can teach and what you want to teach. At least I definitely do in music. I don't have to stress about it so much. In America, I had all these standards, all these things I have to exactly do to teach music, where I just find teaching in Sweden, there's a lot more freedom. There's a lot more trust that hey, you know your subject, you know best, and go ahead and teach. And I kind of like the hands-off approach with teaching because I don't like any situation where I feel like my hands are tied behind my back and I can't be creative, because they say most teachers stop teaching, stop having different stuff after 3 years. A teacher's going to be the same teacher all the way through. So when you can have a little bit of that freedom to explore and try different things, it really helps you be creative and come up with more ideas, because I have to be creative. Otherwise I get stagnant and bored. So by having a little bit more of a hands-off approach and that little bit more trust that when you're working at a school, there's a trust that you know what you're doing and that you know best, that really helps that kind of environment. Of course, maybe there might be some cases where teachers really need a little bit more structure. But for somebody teaching music, for example, it's nice to have a little bit more freedom. And it's something I really, really like, and one of my favorite things about teaching here. Third thing I like about teaching here, maybe some people are going to think that's weird, but you get a free lunch. As a teacher, I get a free lunch. As a kid, you get a free lunch. And it's just an awesome deal to have that. At least in my school, I get that because the food is great quality food. What I like about it is every kid gets a meal no matter what. If everybody eats together, they get the meal, and then you don't have to worry about a kid going hungry. In the States, there are programs where people that have less income can get a free meal. But what I like about it being everybody is that no kids are going to get lost in the mix. There might not be a kid that like you don't know that they need lunch, or maybe they're hungry one day. Everybody gets a free lunch. We can make sure of that at the school. It's great quality food, and I really think good quality, healthy food is going to just enhance the learning in the classroom. It's something I really love, and then it's just a nice perk as a teacher to get a nice, great meal as well. It's fantastic. My favorite day is always pancake day or taco day. Another interesting thing I like, which I maybe didn't like at first, is mentorship as a teacher. It's something I didn't have growing up so much. We were kind of responsible for everyone's class, but like being a mentor for a class, meaning like each teacher is like responsible for one class. That's one thing we do here in Sweden. And at first, maybe I didn't like it. At first, I didn't know what to expect, but I found it to be incredibly rewarding because it was really nice to have a group of kids that you could follow from like year 6 all the way up to year 9. And it's nice to build those relationships with them and kind of see them grow. And I think it's nice for students to have that one mentor or that teacher where, I don't know, they just can talk to you more. They feel that more trust and can share things with you if they need it, but also like you can be more of a mentor for them. I think that's important. And it's just been a nice thing building those relationships over the years and seeing some of my former mentors and Linköping and the town and talking with them and just seeing all the cool things they're doing as they get older. That's something I maybe couldn't do if I just had them for music. I could build relationships, and I still do in music, but when you have that mentorship role as well, it's really beneficial. I hope you guys really like this one. I appreciate you guys watching this all the way through. Again, give us feedback. If you like this video, let us know in the comments so we know to do this again. Please put any questions you have for us that maybe you'd be interested to hear us talk again. Let me know.
Thank you guys so much for listening to me. I appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram at Carney Joshua D or on TikTok at Carney Joshua D. I go live every Sunday around 9:30 on TikTok, and I'm going to start going live on Instagram as well. So guys, thank you so much. Andrew, thank you so much. You're awesome. Really appreciate it. I hope to talk to you guys again soon.